A major priority of the protest movement that's consumed Hong Kong for the past 3.5 months is thwarting the surveillance apparatus that's literally everywhere. Demonstrators have pulled down camera poles, spray-painted lenses, used green lasers to destroy sensors, and shielded themselves with umbrellas while marching through the streets.
And we are really afraid that our face captured and police will come to find us because of the cameras. The mask can only protect us.
There's a growing concern about surveillance, and it's totally understandable because there's a total lack of trust in the government with this whole saga.
Though Hong Kong is politically autonomous under the one country, two systems model, local authorities have wired up the city, enabling them to keep an eye on every corner of public life here. And protesters suspect they may be sharing that information with the Chinese government. Hong Kong officials deny that cameras on top of the city's so-called smart lampposts feed location or facial recognition data to Beijing, but that may be a lie. Activists with the political organization Demosisto analyzed the internal components of one of these cameras and found an Ethernet switch that could conceivably connect to the mainland's surveillance network. They also found components inside that were manufactured by a company that's a known supplier of the Chinese government's surveillance technology.
People are becoming more and more suspicious about any kind of possible surveillance. Are you tracking my Bluetooth on my phone? Are you tracking my signals? Are you trying to get the information about my whereabouts? How could I trust that you are not doing that? That's why we always say, okay, use VPN.
Many demonstrators use virtual private networks or VPNs to access the internet, and they communicate through Telegram, which fully encrypts their messages.
Many of these groups in Telegram are tens of thousands of people, and the more important thing is you can stay anonymous. Anonymity, particularly for this particular campaign, has become a big concern for many of these protesters.
Without a safe communication, I don't think this revolution can last for that long, actually. The government can crack down everybody very, very easily if there's no encryption in this revolution.
Demonstrators are also refraining from using their credit cards and the digital payment system Octopus, which is an option in Hong Kong's public transit system and most stores.
Octopus card, actually every single payment you make, it can be traced. Actually, there are many cases that the protesters were proved that they have been to certain location in certain time. It's because they have used those Octopus card.
People are aware that all their personal data will be used for prosecutions by the police. So that's why they use a lot of cash this time.
To discuss strategy, demonstrators use LIHKG, a social media site that allows anonymous posting and is known as the Reddit of Hong Kong. They've also created decentralized networks for sharing information through AirDrop, a function on the iPhone that transfers data directly to another person via Bluetooth without a third-party intermediary.
This is a movement that is totally leaderless and decentralized, and the reason for that is the youngsters, first of all, they have kick-started the whole movement by using all these tools on the internet to really find a newer way to organize this sort of movement and to really sustain it in a longer term.
The protest movement's unofficial motto is "Be Water," a Bruce Lee phrase that's meant to convey that in a battle, the more fluid and malleable an adversary, the harder it is to stop.
The spirits of be water. You do not need to occupy. You leave whenever you want. It's very hard for the government to get used to it because it's quite new to the city. In the past, they have some tactics to tackle months-long occupying, but they do not have the experience how to tackle the flash mob.
They work as an AI. They keep self-learning, keep improving, keep changing the tactics. And this is a core reason that why the protest can sustain in 3 months, which is a historical record in Hong Kong history.
The absence of a central authority has left the protesters' communication network particularly vulnerable to sabotage. Twitter recently removed what they said were approximately 200,000 Chinese state-linked accounts, spreading rumors of protest violence being orchestrated by foreign powers.
Fake news is a big problem in Hong Kong.
They make up a lot of stories that try to defame the activists and have a lot of conspiracy behind it that is mobilized by the international power. So that's why it's very important for the activists in Hong Kong to do a lot of fact-checking as well as clarification job. People actually set up a lot of Telegram groups and ask people to report that kind of fake news.
I'm working with some people in journalism and academic areas to try to see that, you know, there are more locally based fact-checker organizations that can be set up. And I think that would go a long way.
A major factor motivating the protesters in their fight to maintain political autonomy from mainland China is the surveillance apparatus that the Beijing government imposes on its own citizens, such as the social credit system, in which individuals are rated for good behavior, and a bad score can impede their ability to travel, attend the best schools, or get hired for the best jobs.
We worry so much about surveillance, facial recognition everywhere, social credit, the Great Firewall. To average people in Hong Kong, do you expect these things to be extended to Hong Kong in 10 years' time? I think most people cannot answer that question with confidence to say that it would not. And that is the problem.
If you go to outspoken, you are willing to voice out what you think and what you think is right or wrong. They will have different tactics to make you trouble. They will use police forces to maybe arrest you or following you, which is legal. Nowadays, they will use trials to try to break into your storage place or your office, to try to disturb your family, your living place, to try to hurt you. They will try to make you nervous.
The Hong Kong government has stopped answering the demands of the protesters, and the conflict grew more acrimonious on October 1st after a police officer shot in the chest and injured an 18-year-old demonstrator who had attempted to hit him with a rod. Last week, the government announced a ban on wearing face masks in the streets.
It has escalated to a point where people are realizing what we need is a political reform in the whole Hong Kong legislative system. And also, of course, the Communist government is not backing down either. So we are preparing ourselves for an even longer fight.